Welcome to Virtual Coffee with Dawn Rickabaugh, the Note Queen, where we talk about owner financing and notes. Financial solutions, one mom and pop to another.
Yeah, I mean, in this scenario, it's almost like I wish they could pay a little more, because then I can see that it's tough for you to not get rid of that $10,000 one, because if the PITI and everything, and I know you think you can get it down or whatever, but you're basically just breaking even, which isn't bad, because what will happen is you know, those other loans will pay off, and then down the road, you're just building equity and cash flow for down the road, right? So
Right.
those underlying loans, in fact, you could, sometimes they can pay extra or whatever, but basically you would just be building like, hey, I'm going to have several years worth of payment. So like when the second pays off, then you can apply that whole amount to the first, you know what I'm saying? And so pretty
Yes.
soon, you have 10 years at the end, you have 10 years of payments, which would be 10 times 120 payments of 1,050, so your 24,000 will turn into 126,000, so it's like, this isn't, I wish it was a little higher, but if you paid off that other thing, then you just have more money you're tying up, so then you're in it for 34,000. It can be reasonable, right? It's just not like, oh, right today money, but you're kind of young, right? Football player guy? You're
30,
younger,
35.
right? So this is like, okay, when I'm starting to think about retirement, I'm gonna have 1,050 coming in out of thin air. You know what I mean? And you only
Right.
had the money down. I also wonder what you could do if you didn't fix it up and you sell it, you sell it to somebody who is gonna do the fix up. You know what I mean?
Hello, this is Deirdre.
I've been trying to
Hey, doing
market
pretty
it.
good. What's up?
Hello?
Axel, you got
Okay.
that?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, so
I've
it's
been trying to market it.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I've been trying to market it, but I'm assuming that everyone that sees it, that looks at it, they look at it so they can try to flip it, or they try to say, well, I'd only go into it for this price, or they try to use the
Yeah,
value
I'm
lower
talking
the
about
ARV.
like someone who's a contractor or handyman guy who's very
Yeah.
comfortable doing their own work, but needs, they can't get a bank loan because they're self-employed or whatever. This might be a good thing for them. Or you put the money in and you just realize that it's just gonna carry itself for a while. And so many of our investment products that we're used to from Wall Street, I mean, it's like you put the money in 401k, you never see the money. It's for way later. So this is a way that you could just build long-term equity. It's a long-term play, right? Or if somebody ends up refinancing, then that's when you get your capital out. But if you just ride it long-term and you don't factor in them refinancing, and if it's a homeowner, I feel it's kind of dicey. You have to think pretty carefully about putting in a balloon, because you never want to be at the point of standing in front of a judge and defending why you're kicking a homeowner out of their home, right?
Right.
So it's a reasonable play. I wish the numbers were a teeny bit better on that, but it's not. You can see that you're going to make, a lot of money down the road for just taking this play. But it's a little bit of a tight one, I would have to say.
Okay. So you would, if it were you would walk away from it, or you would stick with it?
Just depends on what I was thinking. I think you can do better. I think you can do better, but if she's got a problem, it just seems to me like you could still help her, but it's without risking a lot of your own money, because that would be tying up a lot of money that if you had a lot more, I don't know, I just think your yields could be better, because I think you should be able to do something where it's cash flowing a lot sooner for you. But it seems to me if you could get a fixer guy in there and you come in and just do either a sandwich lease option or a wrap of some kind where you just leave that financing in place, someone can afford $1,100 a month, and maybe the option fee is only $5,000.
Right.
But then you make $5,000 for solving her problem, and it solves the house has a problem. The house is designed, its purpose is to provide shelter to people, and an unperforming, non-used asset is not a happy asset. So you could create a housing situation where there is not one right now, and you can help this lady get out from a negative cash flow situation. So to me, she might even, here's another idea, and maybe other people have an idea too, but what if, right now she's $1,100 in the hole every month, right?
Every month, right.
Okay, what if she keeps, her thing is, well, now you're only $200 in the hole. Make her do the second.
I thought about that. I really
think then your numbers make sense on this thing. This will work. This will make sense for you if she takes on the second. So I would make her do that, and I think she should be happy because now she's going from $1,100 to only $200 negative per month, and she's saving her credit. So to me, she's paying a $10,000 to save her credit. I think that's pretty good. Right.
I'm glad you said that because I was thinking that, but I was thinking I would pay it. But I was thinking about that too.
No, I think she should pay it. I think that is fair. I think because otherwise you're taking on too much of the risk. I think she needs to share in the risk. She's got a situation, and you're doing the best you can. But hey, man, you're not a charity, right? You're doing good, but if you don't make money and do well, then you don't survive to help the next person.
Right.
So that's what I think.
I'm gonna have to use that line.
She should need to contribute that for that second. If she can pay it off, she should. If not, that's just her contribution to the deal is $200 a month.
Okay.
Because then the numbers work. Then they work really well, actually, I think.
Yeah, and I was being conservative about the rent. $1,250, I could probably get like $1,325, somewhere in that range.
Okay, so then your yield can really make sense then, because if you can bring in $300-400 a month passive on this, in addition to building that way down the road tail end we were talking about, that's the kind of stuff that retirements are built on, where you're not wondering if you're getting a check from the government. Like my life is set up so that I don't expect anything. I don't expect healthcare. I don't expect Social Security. I don't expect anything. I've set so no one can buy my vote that way either, right?
Right.
Right. So,
right.
Anyway, so fantastic. I mean, this has been great. Did you feel like you got something out of that, Derek?
I feel like I got a lot out of this, and this made my vision for everything a lot clearer. I do appreciate that.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for spending your time and being with us today. So good luck on all that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Virtual Coffee with Don Rickabaugh. For more, please visit notequeen.com.